In this world, evil isn't always obvious. It can disguise itself in seemingly ordinary individuals, blending human and demonic traits. Imagine a solitary tiger, but not just any tiger, one with 9 tails capable of annihilating 100 people in a blink. To finish off the 9-tailed tigress, humans unite to drive her to Mount Shore. The demon tiger can't escape, so she gives her all to fight the human environment. Why doesn't the 9-tailed tigress jump into the water and get away? Because the water in the mountain is very scary. Anything that falls into it will turn to dust. So the demon rushes straight at a group of people to fight for her life. The rain of arrows aimed at the tigress seem like mere scratches. In the blink of an eye, the tigress destroys most of the humans. And then a cruel demon lord named Xia Shan arrives and launches an arrow at the 9-tailed tigress, sending it tumbling into the sea below. The demon lords believe the tigress is dead, but she is alive. What's more, she is still protecting her unborn child. Soon, the 9-tailed white tigress gives birth to a child. When the boy is only 5 years old, their home is surrounded by a pack of demon wolves. To protect the child, the white tigress sacrifices one of her 9 tails. She merges it into her son's body, causing his memories to disappear. She then returns to her true form and challenges the 7 demon wolves. She fights, but loses. The demon wolf breaks into the house, but cannot find the son of the tiger. He sees the demon, but the demon can't see him because of the protective seal his mother has placed. It all started 500 years ago when the eastern continent was overrun by demons. To keep the peace, 5 demon slayers traveled with a group of demonologists to the demon's homeland, the Valley of Peak. They killed the demon emperor and sacrificed their lives to protect the humans. The demon emperor's blood turned into the netherworld sea. It burned the entire world and divided the once united continent into Fulong, Shenwu, and Zhulan. To fight the netherworld sea, the demon slayers from these 3 nations formed an alliance. They used the red pearl to create a huge formation of 10,000 la. It stopped the onslaught of the netherworld sea and protected the inhabitants of the continent. Since then, the lands remained unharmed and peace reigned in the ordinary world. After 500 years, demons still try to disturb harmony, but diligent demonologists like Xiao Zhan are always on the lookout to catch them. When a black demon threatens the life of a civilian, Zhan swiftly draws his sword. With his magical skill, he saves the civilians and kills the demon right on the spot. One day, the guard from the Sea Guard informs the commander-in-chief Kai Zilu of a crack in the Red Pearl. Accompanied by Xin Ren's mother, the Black Camp commander, and other demonologists, they promptly visit the site, and it becomes clear that they have limited time to replace the pearl with a new one, or else the defenses will weaken, allowing demons to invade the continents. Xiao Zhan, in addition to his role as commander, is a descendant of one of the demonologists who fought demons 5 centuries ago. He is tasked by his father and grandmother to find the Red Pearl. His grandmother also gives him a power stone that can resonate with the Red Pearl. With its help, it will be easier for him to find the pearl. After receiving the instructions, Xiao Zhan sets off in search of the Red Pearl. Soon he reaches the mountain and uses the power stone to find the pearl, which is only available once in centuries. After obtaining the Red Pearl, Xiao Zhan heads home but encounters an unexpected obstacle. His attention is drawn to a hanged man in distress. Despite the danger, he approaches the man. However, he falls into a trap set by the hanged man Hu Zi. The guards fall unconscious because of the sleeping incense. Xiao Zhan, however, manages to free himself from the trap. He swings his sword and scares Hu Zi away. Upon opening the box that supposedly holds the Red Pearl, Xiao Zhan is perplexed to find only a small stone inside. He quickly realizes that Hu Zi has successfully stolen the Red Pearl. Meanwhile, Hu Zi returns to his village. He warmly welcomes the old woman and looks after the village children. He eventually gives the stolen Red Pearl to one of the children named Doggy. Meanwhile, Zhao Xintong, a demonologist from the Bounty, enters a nearby restaurant in pursuit of the demon inside. He gets into a fight with several bandits. His fighting skills prove to be excellent, and he quickly dispatches all of his opponents. He then encounters a real demon that has been disguised as a chef. The demon shows its true form and attacks Xintong with its fiery breath. Xintong fights back, but despite his attacks, the demon disappears into thin air. Meanwhile, Hu Zi, waking up from a nightmare, finds his village engulfed in flames. Quickly saving his grandmother, he helps the villagers put out the fire. At the same time, Xiao Zhan arrives in the village and finds Hu Zi. He tells him that the Red Pearl stolen by Hu Zi has attracted demons to the village. Possession of it by the evil forces may increase their power. Determined to find the Red Pearl, Hu Zi joins forces with Xiao Zhan. Together, they meet Doggy, who has recently been attacked by a demon. Comforted, Hu Zi asks about the Red Pearl, but learns that Doggy knows nothing about its whereabouts. Xiao Zhan decides to search for the villagers, suspecting that Doggy might have been playing there. and on the way, Xiao Zhan encounters the village headman. Headman expresses joy when he learns that Xiao Zhan is a commanding demonologist and a direct descendant of Kai Wuji, a famous demonologist of the past. This revelation brings relief to the villagers, who are confident that Xiao Zhan will help end the demonic threat. During their search, Xiao Zhan and Hu Zi discover the red pearl in Hu Zi's shoes. Xiao Zhan retrieves the pearl and offers Hu Zi some money to repair the village house. Suddenly, Xiao Zhan feels a demonic presence nearby. When he grabs Hu Zi's hand, the demon retaliates with a red aura. Suddenly, the demon disappears along with the red pearl, leaving the real Hu Zi in front of Xiao Zhan. Mistaking Hu Zi for the demon, Xiao Zhan tries to strike him, but Xin Tong arrives in time to intervene and save Hu Zi. Xiao Zhan explains how the demon attacked him and stole the pearl. Xin Tong then reveals that she is a demonologist and is pursuing the same demon who has many crimes behind her. To understand which demon they are dealing with, Xiao Zhan seeks the help of his Grandmaster. The Grandmaster reveals that the demon is a blood devourer who needs time to digest the pearl. Moreover, he needs to consume human essence to replenish his strength, which means there is a chance that it will stay in the village to prey on a human for strength. Xiao Zhan and the others begin their search for the demon. Soon, they come across all the villagers who are now under the demon's influence. Hu Zi is attacked, leading to a clash between the possessed villagers and the demonologists. In the chaos, Hu Zi gets stabbed and is surrounded by villagers, while Xiao Zhan and Xin Tong are unable to come to Hu Zi's aid. Unexpectedly, Hu Zi discovers a mysterious power that allows him to confront the demon. The true demon is revealed by taking possession of Doggy's body along with the red pearl inside. Retrieving the pearl poses a threat to Doggy's life. However, Hu Zi is steadfast in his friendship. He refuses to harm his best friend. Xiao Zhan convinces him to retrieve the pearl for the well-being of the villagers. Left with no choice, Hu Zi delivers a powerful blow to Doggy and ends up separating the red pearl from his body. Doggy dies, and the demon shows its true form. He faces Hu Zi in a duel. Haunted by grief, Hu Zi launches a ruthless attack. He manages to plunge a knife into the demon's heart, but the demon survives. Anticipating that the demon will try to get the red pearl, Hu Zi swallows it in a few seconds and gains extraordinary strength. Striking the final blow, Hu Zi successfully kills the demon. However, the villagers, including Doggy's mother, blame Hu Zi for the death. Suddenly, he loses consciousness under the influence of the red pearls. The Grand Master says that Hu Zi is a genius since he didn't die immediately after swallowing the pearl. His inner strength not only increased, but also lived up to that moment. However, Hu Zi is still in danger, because the red pearl can absorb his essence, leading to his death. In order to save him and get the pearl back, they decide to seek the help of a magic expert. At the same time, the villagers cast Hu Zi out for the pain he has caused, even though they once took him in as an orphan and now want to avoid further trouble. Hu Zi escorts Xiao Zhan and Xin Tong to a neighboring town with a heavy heart. Upon reaching the town, Xin Tong temporarily breaks up to inform his family of his well-being. Meanwhile, Xiao Zhan, Hu Zi, and the Grandmaster go to the house for help. Yi Mei quickly discovers the red pearl inside Hu Zi. She and the Grandmaster try to get it out, but they can't. Yi Mei says that Hu Zi has a strong demonic aura. Perhaps it was placed there by someone else. To extract the pearl, they need to control the demonic aura first. Yi Mei has the tool to do that, but getting it out is not easy. She made a rule. To get her items, you have to win the tournament at the city's battle altar. The tournament is tomorrow, so Xiao Zhan is teaching Hu Zi combat skills. Xiao Zhan can break the stone with his magic, but Hu Zi has a hard time concentrating. They fight, and the Grandmaster takes over Hu Zi's training. Hu Zi is grateful, preferring to learn from the Grandmaster rather than from Xiao Zhan, whom he considers heartless. Seeing that Hu Zi is unfamiliar with magical weapons, the Grandmaster chooses a simpler approach. He decides to teach him the mental method of enchantment. When Hu Zi immerses himself in this method, he is enveloped by a golden essence. The Grandmaster and Xiao Zhan are amazed, for such a powerful essence has not been seen in the last 100 years. It becomes clear that if Hu Zi harnesses even a part of the spiritual essence within him, he can become invincible. While practicing, Hu Zi experiences another vision of a woman who usually comes to him in a dream. When the Grandmaster takes a break, Hu Zi tries to slip away. Xiao Zhan catches him in the act and emphasizes the importance of winning the tournament. He also shares the trick to master the mental method of enchantment. Xiao Zhan's sister confesses to her father that she should be the one entrusted with the search for the red pearl. However, her father convinces her not to worry about it, and to focus on the upcoming examination for the position of Commander-in-Chief. He is confident in his daughter's ability to succeed. The next day, Grandmaster Hu Zi and Xiao Zhan reach the underground arena. Here, many competitors have gathered, each with their own motives to get their hands on the magical tools. The judge of the competition explains the rules to the fighters. In the fighting ring, you are allowed to use sorcery, magic tools, or just your fists. Victory is achieved by either forcing the opponent out of the ring or surrendering. Shortly after the fight begins, a fight breaks out between two sorcerers armed with magic tools. Xu Wang launches an attack with his flaming swords aimed at his opponent. The sorcerer skillfully dodges until he makes a move that shatters his opponent's magic tool and forces him to surrender. The next opponent, Chong Dang, enters the fighting ring to battle Yuji. Although Dang looks tough, Yuji's victory becomes apparent when he delivers a powerful kick to Dang's chest. Dang pretends to give up. He then takes the opportunity to counterattack as Yuji approaches him. Although Dang briefly gains the upper hand, Yuji quickly regains control and stabs his opponent with several swords. As Yuji prepares to attack again, Hu Zi intervenes and holds back the attack. Hu Zi believes that Yuji should have shown sportsmanship and let his opponent surrender rather than launching more strikes. A fierce battle unfolds between Hu Zi and Yuji. Both are attacking and defending against each other's strikes. Yuji unleashes a barrage of sword strikes, but Hu Zi skillfully dodges them. Seizing the opportunity, Hu Zi uses a magnet to attract the swords and delivers a powerful blow to Yuji's crotch. However, Yuji quickly regains consciousness and gains the upper hand. He then throws several punches at Hu Zi. Despite his persistent dodging, Hu Zi manages to grab him and land a series of punches. After a crushing final attack, Hu Zi is badly injured in the fighting ring, and Hu Zi prepares for the decisive blow. Hu Zi surprises everyone by using the mental enchantment method he has learned. With one punch to the chest, he knocks Yuji down and emerges victorious from the battle. No sooner has the referee declared victory than Shin Tong enters the battlefield to challenge him. Despite Xiao Zan's offer to retreat, Shin Tong insists on fighting to recover his spear and receive his reward. The duel unfolds with Shin Tong gaining the upper hand due to Hu Zi's exhaustion after the previous fight. In order to block the spear strike, Hu Zi holds her tightly, trying to prevent her from using her hands. However, when Hu Zi touches Shin Tong's chest, he discovers with shock that Shin Tong is not a man, but a woman. An enraged Shin Tong lashes out and slaps Hu Zi for his actions. When her hair falls loose, the audience realizes that Shin Tong is the daughter of a noble family. Feeling embarrassed, Shin Tong leaves the duel and Hu Zi is declared the winner of the tournament. Despite winning, Hu Zi is worried about Shin Tong and wants to apologize to her. He turns to Xiao Zan for help. Xiao Zan explains that Shin Tong's father, the head of the Zhao Heoshan clan, was once a member of the Tiangyan, but after he left, the reputation of the Zhao Heoshan fell. Knowing the family's situation, Hu Zi asks Xiao Zan to help break into the mansion. Xiao Zan refuses to help. Left with no choice, Hu Zi steals Xiao Zan's sign and goes to the mansion. On the way, someone mistakes him for a beggar and suggests he enter a clothing store. During an argument with the shopkeeper, Xiao Zan approaches him and demands the sign back. When the shopkeeper learns of Hu Zi's acquaintance with Xiao Zan, he shows him respect. After trying on different outfits, Hu Zi stops at one and goes to Shin Tong's house. Upon arrival, they meet Xiao Xiao, Shin Tong's father, and the head of the clan. Since Xiao Zan is familiar with him, they strike up a pleasant conversation. However, when Hu Zi mentions that he met Shin Tong in the village the day before, Zhao Heoshan denies it. He claims that his daughter hasn't left the mansion in a long time. Hu Zi is confused, for he is certain of their meeting. To resolve the confusion, Shin Tong is called in. She looks more beautiful and elegant than her masculine attire would suggest. Hu Zi is stunned by her beauty. When questioned, Shin Tong denies that she has ever left the house. She even claims that she has not met Hu Zi and Xiao Zan before. After realizing the reason, Xiao Zan says they were mistaken. Shin Tong then secretly meets Hu Zi and Xiao Zan. She warns Hu Zi not to tell her father. Hu Zi apologizes for his past actions. A strange mixture of tension and friendship develops between Hu Zi and Shin Tong. Shin Tong then reveals her motivation for participating in the arena fights. She wants a magic tool as a reward. This tool is needed to repair her mother's broken spear. She must do it discreetly to hide it from her father. After listening to Shin Tong's story, Hu Zi unselfishly offers her the magic tool. The next day, he plans to go to the magician to obtain the tool to repair the spear. Xiao Zan does not agree as he emphasizes the importance of obtaining the red pearl. However, Hu Zi assures him that he will get the pearl for him before they reach the capital. Hu Zi admires Shin Tong, complimenting her beauty despite her indignation. Xiao Zan and the Grand Master express disapproval about the plans, but Hu Zi remains adamant, despite realizing that the red pearl could be harmful to his health. When pain arises because of the red pearl, he uses his mental techniques to effectively manipulate and control it. The next day, Shin Tong rejects Hu Zi's offer to repair the spear. She prioritizes the red pearls problem as she believes that it requires an immediate solution. As for her problem, she decides to tell everything to her father and solve everything with him. Upon entering Yi Mei's house, the trio discover a mayhem. Yi Mei is injured and the Grandmaster uses magic to revive her. She reveals that the demon Black Wind is to blame for the chaos. Shin Tong is alarmed, as the same demon killed her mother. Meanwhile, Black Wind has started a series of murders. Shin Tong immediately returns home and urgently shares the news about the demon Black Wind with her father. Unfortunately, she arrives at the wrong time. Her father reveals her deception. He is enraged by her secret martial arts training. Shin Tong defends herself, explaining that she spent 10 years honing her spear skills to avenge her mother's death. She reveals that she learned the skill from her parents, but after her mother's death, her father changed completely. In response, her father tells her that her mother wanted to shield her from the dangers of martial arts so that she could live a peaceful life. Despite her father's objections, Shin Tong persists in her decision. Out of anger, her father slaps her and locks her in her room. Hu Zi comes to check on Shin Tong but is refused entry. He silently enters the house and finds her locked inside. He helps her escape, but they are caught by an enraged Lord Zhao Heoshan. Despite Hu Zi's attempts to convince him of Shin Tong's fighting prowess, Lord Zhao Heoshan forcibly drags him out of the house. While everyone is immersed in thoughts of fighting the Black Wind, the demon attacks the entire city. Black smoke envelops the surroundings. At the same time, Lord Zhao Heoshan prepares to avenge the death of his wife at the hands of the Black Wind 10 years ago. Shin Tong's mother showed mercy and spared Black Wind's life, but at the very last moment, the demon strikes back, resulting in her death. Lord Zhao Heoshan asks for Yi Mei's advice in fighting the Black Wind, as she has faced it before. He even blames her for not helping him and his wife 10 years ago. However, Yi Mei blames him for the fact that she gave them the two-headed spear, but they were never able to kill the Black Wind. While they argue, the black smoke spreads. It has demonic power that captures souls. The smoke constantly joins forces, absorbing souls, and poses a threat to the entire city. Yi Mei advises the Lord to deal with the danger at the top of the dome first. At the same time, Xiao Zhan uses his magical abilities to decipher the effects of the black smoke. Lord Zhao Heoshan prepares his team of sorcerers for the upcoming battle with the Demon Lord. At this time, a maid distracts the guards and rescues Shin Tong. Despite his best efforts, the black smoke does not disappear. Shin Tong enters the battlefield, and this time her father fails to stop her. The warriors who had previously fought in the arena join forces with the sorcerers. However, they are all affected by the black smoke, losing consciousness. Temporarily teaming up, Hu Zi and Xiao Zhan destroy the I formation on the same gate. Lord Zhao Heoshan destroys the key to the formation on the Azure Dragon Gate, causing the entire formation to scatter. The black smoke dissipates, revealing the city of Black Wind. She launches an attack using a ghostly spider chasing Heart. To keep the residents safe, Lord Zhao Heoshan assigns Shin Tong to lead the evacuation of the city. It is time for the final confrontation between Lord Zhao Heoshan and Black Wind. Eager to avenge his wife, Lord Zhao Heoshan attempts to use a martial technique to destroy Black Wind. However, since no one in the clan has performed this technique in 100 years, it proves to be risky. Despite the danger, Zhao Heoshan makes up his mind. Unfortunately, he fails and burns his soul in his body, falling to the ground. Yi Mei shows no concern. She seems to have orchestrated the events so that Lord Zhao Heoshan is stranded, and all she cares about is that Hu Zi will enter the battle and emerge victorious. She is prepared for the possibility that he might be defeated, but she refuses to interfere. She is confident that Hu Zi will reveal the secret hidden within himself. A battle breaks out between Black Wind, Hu Zi, and Xiao Zhan. The clash continues until black smoke incapacitates Xiao Zhan. Hu Zi enters the battle, but his efforts prove ineffective against Black Wind, who stabs Hu Zi in the chest. Seizing the opportunity, she peeks into his heart. Black Wind knows that Yi Mei organized the battle to test Hu Zi. After looking into his heart, she discovers an unusually powerful force within it. Unexpectedly, Black Wind is attacked by the formidable Hu Zi, who reveals the mysterious power within him. Hu Zi's powerful attack causes Black Wind to disappear for a while. This break allows Hu Zi to use his abilities to revive Xiao Zhan. However, Black Wind quickly resumes his attack, rendering Hu Zi unconscious and incapacitating Xiao Zhan once again. Mr. Zhao Heoshan tries to fight but is too weakened to wield his spear effectively. Before Black Wind can destroy him, Shin Tong arrives ready to save her father. She dodges several attacks but eventually succumbs to one of Black Wind's blows. As she falls to the ground, Black Wind prepares to deliver the fatal blow. However, Shin Tong rises up with determination in his eyes, performing an extremely difficult technique. Xintong moves so fast that Black Wind does not have time to dodge the blow. She stabs her mother's spear into Black Wind's heart and gains victory. Even Yi Mei hasn't seen this move in 500 years. Despite the injury, Lord Zhao Heiyoshan expresses his gratitude to Xintong. He now considers her a source of glory for their house. He says that he did not recognize her talent before, but now he finds comfort in her for avenging her mother. With these words, Lord Zhao Heiyoshan emits his last breath and leaves this world. Xintong experiences the loss of both of her parents, tears streaming down her face. The people of the city now respect the Shao clan, speaking highly of Lord Zhao Heiyoshan. Meanwhile, Grandmaster and Shao Zan rush to deliver Hu Zi to Yi Mei to save his life. In the risky state between life and death, it is an opportune moment to suppress the demonic aura in his body and get the pearl. Yi Mei uses a weapon, the same one used to kill the demon emperor 500 years ago. She uses it to successfully retrieve the red pearl. In a flashback, it is revealed that a nine-tailed white tiger that fell into the sea managed to survive, and sometime later the tigress gave birth to a baby, which turned out to be Hu Zi. At the age of 5, a pack of demon wolves surrounded their home. To protect her child, the white tigress sacrificed one of her 9 tails, merging into her son's body, gave him strength and made his memories fade. She then returned to her true form and fought the 7 wolf demons. Despite her struggles, she was overpowered. The wolf demon broke into the house but could not find the son of the tiger. Although Hu Zi could see him, the protective seal placed by his mother made him invisible to the demon. The demonic aura in Hu Zi's body was the result of his mother's tail, which she sacrificed to protect him. The premature cracking of the red pearl causes chaos in the nearby villages, and Netherworld Sea spews out destruction. Shao Zan's father, Mr. Zilu, arrives urgently in the village with his daughter to supervise the evacuation. Upon learning of Shao Zan's death, Mr. Zilu instructs his daughter to retrieve the red pearl. In pursuit of the pearl, Yen Ran encounters bandits, but quickly stops their attack. With one powerful move, she secures the safety of her mission to find the precious red pearl. Meanwhile, the burial ceremony is interrupted by the royal sorcerer Wu Haiden. He disrespectfully interrupts the ritual and smashes the memorial tablets of her ancestors. Seeing this, Xintong bursts into uncontrollable anger. In response to her questioning, Haiden recounts the injustices his family has suffered over the past 500 years. He tells how the Shao family gained fame for killing the demon emperor, but they overshadowed the Wu family's contribution. He talks about the forgotten sacrifices of the Wu family members in the Valley Battle. He also explains that their deaths were a mistake made by Xintong's ancestors. Haiden decides to hold Xintong accountable for the mistakes her ancestors made against the Wu family. Xintong and Haiden engage in a fierce battle, but Haiden gains the upper hand by poisoning all the security guards and family members with a deadly poison. With no other choice, Xintong surrenders and kneels before Haiden. After humiliating her family, Haiden leaves. Xintong is determined to avenge the insult to her father and ancestors. On the other hand, Hu Zi is still not recovered. Yi Mei discovers that Hu Zi's primordial spirit is on the verge of breaking and is immersed in the virtual world. Now someone must enter his world to wake him up and bring him back to reality. Using the spirit separation technique, Shao Zan immerses himself in the virtual reality and calls the younger Hu Zi to accompany him. After a struggle, Shao Zan successfully destroys the virtual reality and brings Hu Zi back. But as the tiger's tail manifests, it becomes apparent that Hu Zi still has a demonic aura in his body. Meanwhile, Yen Ren arrives on the scene. Seeing that Hu Zi has turned into a demon, she uses her powers to restrain him. She tells Shao Zan that the red pearl has shattered, causing chaos in the neighboring villages. She even humiliates him for his delay in finding a new red pearl. Shao Zan, upon learning that his father entrusted his sister with the pearl, willingly gives it away. However, Yen Ren is burning with the desire to destroy Hu Zi. When she attacks, Shao Zan intervenes. He explains to her that Hu Zi is not a demon, but a person with a demonic aura inside. Yen Ren hesitates until she receives confirmation of Shao Zan's explanation. Upon learning the truth, she immediately returns to the capital. Meanwhile, Hu Zi wakes up. The magic tool in his body can control the demonic aura, but it has made him weak. To get rid of the energy completely, Shao Zan decides to bring Hu Zi to the capital. The magical tool Yi Mei helps Hu Zi regain his memory. He finally realizes that he is the son of a 9-tailed tiger who sacrificed 1 tail for him. Even though he remembers who it is, he hesitates to talk about his past, fearing the distrust of those around him who have learned of his demonic origins. Remembering that the werewolf who attacked his mother wore the badge of a royal sorcerer, Hu Zi believes that the capital holds the answers to his secrets. Grateful for Shao Zan's help, Hu Zi makes turtle soup. On the other hand, Xin Tong decides to disband Shao in the city. She plans to take the royal sorcerer exam in the capital to restore Shao's lost nobility. Since she saved the city from the Black Wind, people reach out to her. They apologize for past remarks and urge her to stay. Now, appreciating Shao's house for their help, the people of the town want them to stay. Emboldened by this, Xin Tong decides not to disband the Shao clan. It is decided that she will go to the capital to take the royal sorcerer exam, and her uncle will manage the Shao in the city. Yi Mei warns the Grand Master about Hu Zi's demonic aura and the possible consequences if left unchecked. In a revealing flashback, Yi Mei's insidious game is revealed. She imprisoned Black Wind for 10 years, using her demonic power to create magical tools. She saw Hu Zi as the perfect vessel to carry out her plan. Yi Mei organized Black Wind's attack on the city to assess Hu Zi's potential. If not for her own plan, Xin Tong's father might have been alive. The next day, Xin Tong decides to join Shao Zan and Hu Zi on their journey to the capital. Before leaving, Yi Mei gives Xin Tong a new spear made from 2 copies of her parents'. She also warns Hu Zi to be careful with his power to avoid harm. The trio begins their journey to the capital, enjoying a delicious meal along the way.